Hello, my name is Dr Ursula Hackett and I'm an academic based at Royal Holloway, University of London. I've created these videos for ambitious students who want to write brilliantly, not just okay. This video is about how to do well in examinations. The first thing to say about examination technique is that it's fundamentally the same as regular essay writing, in that you are answering a specific question by making a clear, consistent, convincing argument. You deploy evidence and enter into a conversation with the scholarly literature. You are in the business of persuading your reader, who is your professor and other academics, external examiners and so on. Think about who that audience is. Not your parents, not your mates, not your fellow commentators on a blog or a newspaper audience. These academics reading your work already know plenty about your area of study, so they don't want to read a load of basic facts or everything you happen to be able to remember about a topic. Instead, what they want is an answer to a particular question that you have come up with. These points about clear, consistent, convincing arguments and avoiding the splurge of random information are the same regardless of whether you're writing a regular essay or an examination one. But obviously there are some key differences between examinations and regular essays. I'm going to go through each one and offer some top tips to improve your examination performance. First, you have a very short time frame. Time is of the essence. For a standard university examination, you have only 1 hour per question. Make sure you check precisely how long your examinations will be, so you can prepare accordingly. The short time frame means two things: that you need to prioritise thinking time, and that you must be extra careful to avoid any word wastage. Let's look at these in turn. Prioritising thinking time means that you should never just start scribbling as soon as you open the paper. One of my wonderful undergraduate tutors at Oxford gave us a great examination tip, which I hereby bequeath to you, my viewers. No matter how hard your pulse is racing when you're sat in that dreaded examination hall, when the invigilator says, "You may turn over your papers now," you should sit back in your chair for a minute, fold your arms, spot the people in the hall who are already writing, and mentally say to yourself, "Fail, she's failed, he's failed over there." The point is that writing straight away is a terrible idea because you are pretty much guaranteed to write third-rate material. You should devote a good 20% or so of your entire essay writing time to preparation and essay planning, reading and rereading the essay questions, defining your key terms, and considering whether there are any hidden assumptions embedded in your chosen questions. If you've done enough preparation, you should be able to avoid word wastage, which is a big pitfall in timed examinations. By word wastage, I mean unnecessary verbiage, like, for many years, scholars have argued that one of the things that is important for people to know about the topic of Guattari's notion of rhizomatic assemblages, or simple restatements of the question, such as, this question asks whether television has influenced interest group strategies and behaviour, so I will consider whether television has influenced interest group strategies and behaviour. Or phrases that state the obvious, such as, in order to answer this question, we need to define our key terms. Instead of these long, boring, tangled sentences, you should substitute clean, mean prose. I, your professor, know what the question is, because I set it. I don't need a restatement of the question. I just need your answer. Also, I don't need to be told that it's important to define your key terms. If I had a penny for every time an earnest student wrote that phrase in my exams, I'd be a rich person rather than just a frustrated one. Instead, just do it. Just define your terms right there and save yourself time. Give your answer as clearly and as early as humanly possible. In short, you need lean meat with absolutely no fat on it at all. Before the examination, I recommend practicing writing timed essay introductions, 10 minutes a pop, swapping with a friend, and ruthlessly cutting out each other's unnecessary verbiage. I guarantee that will be time well spent. So time constraints separate exams from regular essay writing. The second thing that distinguishes examinations is that you can't look things up. It all needs to be in your head, so be canny about what you put there. It's important to select your cases with care. You don't want to simply litter your examination paper with random examples. That is where rote learning can help. If you take a bit of time to learn some lists of figures, dates and quantitative data, you will not only be able to deploy that evidence in the exam, but you should be able to contextualise your case studies better. I don't mean just splurge out that data in a big descriptive wodge. I mean select the pieces of evidence that help you make your case and use the wider list of data you've rote learned to contextualise that evidence. For example, let's say that in addition to your excellent classwork on the US Supreme Court, you have learned off by heart the names of all 17 of the Chief Justices going back to the American founding. You followed up by developing your knowledge of particular cases. If there is a question about the power of the Chief Justice vis-à-vis Associate Justices, then you can not only talk knowledgeably about particular chiefs, but you can also show your reader how similar he was to chiefs who preceded or succeeded him in office. That is much more compelling for the reader than just focusing on the Chief Justice most mentioned in your textbook. Rote learning helps you choose and contextualise cases. Students often ask me how many topics they should revise. The answer is, how long is a piece of string? But I generally warn students against sailing too close to the wind by revising too few topics, because you never know when you'll find a stinker of a question on your preferred topic. It's up to your individual willingness to take risks and your knowledge of the past papers. One way to revise smart is to think about which bits of information could be connected with others, repurposed under different sorts of questions, and play different roles under various rubrics. That should help you to cover enough ground to avoid wipeout without forcing you to spread your revision too thinly. The third thing that distinguishes examinations from regular essay writing is that your examinations are generally handwritten from start to finish without the opportunity to go back and insert sections. Some students write the introduction last, inserting it after leaving a space, but this often looks clunky. I would advise against it. If you've spent enough time thinking before you put pen to paper, then you should know before you even start writing precisely what your main take-homes are going to be. You write them in your introduction, and then the remainder of your essay will flow logically from those premises. An examination essay should be like a beautiful wedding cake. Clear, smooth layers without any indication of the mess and hard work that went into making it. Your examiners, like your wedding guests, shouldn't have to see you actually working things out in your examination essay. That part comes beforehand, and you present only the smooth, finished product, the core argument, answering the specific question asked, using carefully selected literature and evidence. I recommend practicing moving all the way from start to finish in a smoothly logical fashion using handwritten test papers. So to recap, cut out all unnecessary verbiage. Rote learn so that you can select your cases with care on the day. And make sure your essays are as smooth as a wedding cake by spending plenty of time thinking before you write. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can find other videos to help you write truly brilliant essays.